We're back. Welcome back to another episode, Wheel to Wheel. What's up, Grant?
Oh man, not much. Just fresh off a good weekend for the Red guys.
Yeah, that was a crazy weekend. And we had actually recorded another podcast in person, and we were just discussing how it did not work with the setup because we used my setup in person. It did not work. So apologies for no race predictions, but nothing's new when it comes to wheel standings because I scored 2 points, Grant scored nothing. It's 18-11. Kind of pulling away with it, but you never know. There
Oh
could be a
yeah.
Lando Norris type rekindling of the flame, dare I say,
Ah,
for the guy
dare
in
you
second place
say.
of the wheel to wheel constructors.
I'm not confident. That's a lot of ground to make up with three options.
Well,
Like the most.
if you nail it one time all the way through, that's 6 points, and if I miss, it's game on.
Yeah, but you could pick up two.
I know,
It's
but I'm
only a
just saying
4 point game.
you picked up
You're right. You're
zero
right.
two
I
weeks
would
in a
have to
row,
clean
so
sweep, and yeah. I've double goose egged. This is we're working on turkey here. This is bad.
but instead of piling on, as you said, the red
Speaking
guys.
of bad,
Yeah. Do we want to talk about you
what
or me
happened to
first? Or do we want to
Williams?
talk about you or me first? What are we talking about first?
You.
All right. Dude, bad 2 weekends, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some points in Canada, but gosh, dude. That was embarrassing. The brakes are on the whole time. What is he doing? Hitting the gas with the brakes on? I have no idea what happened.
In all seriousness, I mean, those cars do weird things when it gets hot. I texted you that. That's
Yeah.
the truth. Like, look back, and especially at that track, that track always has weather like, I mean, like Monaco. It can be sunny and then pour.
Yeah.
So, this past weekend, it was super hot, and his brakes either melted on or they could never release. Something happened, and that
Yeah.
sucks. I thought they were gonna keep him going, and like they were gonna do that restart, and I thought he was gonna get going in the pit lane
And
because
he
if
just
they could
caught
get
on
him to
fire.
release, the fire would have gone out because of the wind.
Yeah. It was
But
still insane. But I think what's more concerning, because that's like a fluke thing, whatever. The more concerning thing was when Alex Albon made up 6 places, was in
yeah,
P7 racing, and then all of a sudden they just pull him in and retire the car. It makes
yep,
me think it has to be another power unit thing.
dude.
I don't
But
know.
I mean,
I don't think it was though, because like it doesn't make sense for them to be the only team having continuous power unit issues, because
mhm.
Mercedes hasn't had it week over week, and we know that's what
No, they
Kimi
had
was
like one
dealing with.
time.
Yeah.
The other thing, I mean, again, it's hot too. It's hard to say. I was with you though. I saw Alex on that first lap. I was like, "Oh, GR's gonna be stoked."
I was
And
so
then
stoked.
they pulled him in. I
Well, I
knew right
saw
when
him.
they pulled him in
He
too because I
pitted.
saw dudes just standing around. I was like,
Well, he pitted and then he repitted, and I was like, because I saw him, he pitted. He was in P12. I was like, all right. And I saw him repit, and I was like, why is he pitting like 3 laps after his last pit stop? I'm like, oh, he's retiring the
so
car. And I was like, dude, this is so devastating. And I was at my cousins, and they're always trash on me for being a Williams fan, bro. I just couldn't take it, man.
it's all right.
But
They'll bounce back. I mean, it was
I also have to just come to terms with this as a punt. They've said from the beginning, this is a punt. We're not doing any upgrades to the
yeah.
car. The car as released is the car you're getting week over week over week. So I have
Mm-hmm.
to accept that fact. And we're just seeing, we'll get to it in a few. I'm going to let you talk about Ferrari, but we're getting to a point where the midfield is getting spicy, bro.
Yep. It's gonna get hot.
All right, talk
It's
about
gonna
Ferrari.
get
Go
really
ahead.
hot.
Yeah.
I mean, they were never gonna catch the McLarens. That was a total runaway. Um, but 3-4 is good. Lewis held his ground for the first time. The crazy thing about that, though, was with Max going out, both Ferraris were racing their own race the whole time. Like after George made that push on Lewis for the first couple laps, and then after that, they were pretty much in clean air. They were, I mean, Lewis was what, probably 4-ish seconds behind Charles, I think, until towards the end.
I think
But
you're right.
I mean, they were just driving. It was keep the car on the track and keep the pace up. And they both managed tires really well, which was good because the Ferrari is notorious for just chewing tires. But Lewis is a
Mm-hmm.
tire whisperer. Charles can get ahead of himself. So that was kind of a mature race for him to keep it going as long as he did. They both had a pretty long first stint, which was good. Yeah, can't hate a 3-4. Definitely made up some ground on Mercedes. That was big time.
Definitely did.
So
Well,
other than that, I
standings are
mean,
now 210, 209. Ferrari, Mercedes. You guys are back in second
yeah,
place.
backup one.
So that's a good fight. Also, the gap when finishing, Charles had about a 10-second
10
gap on
second.
Lewis.
That's what I thought it got to.
Yeah,
I
it got
remember.
pretty big. And then the gap from Lewis to George is unbelievable. It's like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
it was big. Yeah.
So,
Which I mean, Lewis was by himself. He settled in knowing, okay, I'm coming in fourth,
yeah.
and just kept it up. And
I
went.
mean, he was happy with fourth. That's like the state in which it's at. He was beyond
Yeah.
stoked. He seemed really, really happy at the end of the race.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good to see them in form, seemingly a little bit. The Lando Oscar battle is becoming so interesting.
Oh, dude, I thought Oscar was going to get him. He made
Same.
that super big lunge into 6 or 7 or whatever and locked it up. I was like, what is he doing?
No, Fernando Alonso. Sorry, I just maxed out my mic. Fernando Alonso like literally tried to pass him. That was ridiculous.
Towards the end?
Yes, he was
Yeah,
unlapping
yeah, that was
himself
dumb.
over Oscar. For what, bro?
Yeah,
I was really freaking out. I was getting really mad. But yeah, and then also Franco impeded on him too. Like he got impeded on like multiple times by cars they're trying to lap. That slowed him down.
Which
Like
that sucks. I mean, that happens in the sport is because you're coming down late race and you've got guys battling for points or close to points. You got a good scrap going on, and all of a sudden you get blue flag. You're like, screw that, man. I'm not. I'm going to lose out, or if I slow up the guy to let guy that's lapping me by, I'm just going to get smoked when I try to get back on the power because the guy behind me is just going to rip it. Like there's no good way to do it. They can't fix it. It is what it is, but it was
pretty frustrating. It was the battle from 16 and 15, by the way, with Franco and Yuki, and that was the one that obstructed him. And then Oscar made a comment on the radio of, "Wow, Alpine still finds a way to somehow fuck me," is what he said on the radio.
I did see that.
Yeah.
What was where was Fernando? Where'd he finish?
Fernando finished 7th. Gabriel. Right. So we can get into the midfield now.
Oh, it was Bortoleto. That was the scrap towards the end that they were all in the way of the McLarens, right?
Well, so what happened was Bortoleto passed Fernando. Fernando knew what he was immediately going to do, so then he took the inside as soon as he got ahead with DRS and got ahead of him again and like basically undid the pass. All right. Midfield is getting interesting as we just talked about, but basically, I mean, after this race specifically, Liam Lawson, 6th place.
Oh, great race.
Was never, ever, ever on my bingo card, ever.
No, and our predictions video that didn't get dropped, we made some joke about Liam, like, oh, is he going to have a good weekend? We were like, hell no. No chance.
He catches strays every week.
Yeah, he does. And he caught a stray, and then he proved us wrong for the first time ever. So good for him.
So that's a great 8 points. And then Fernando backs him up in 7th. Bortoleto 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, so double points for freaking Kick Sauber, bro.
Hell yeah.
What the heck, dude? And then Esteban, I think I said Esteban was going to get 10th, whatever. Haas rolling in with 10th place, get scoring points again. But the Liam Lawson was, I mean, it's kind of cool. So here's the thing. I mean, Liam Lawson was as good as out of F1 next year based on how things were going. But if he keeps up this form, like, and then say Max leaves to Mercedes, which is seemingly becoming real.
Yep.
Especially with the reaction with Kimi after the crash, you're just sitting there and you're like, okay, dude.
Yeah,
real nice to this kid.
Well,
he loves Kimi.
He's a kid.
He loves Kimi. He likes all the rookies. So he would have been nice regardless. But you're also sitting there going, oh, so this chemistry wouldn't be too bad, would it? So
yeah,
it was. It definitely has me thinking because I mean, if Lawson could keep up this and like score like a 6th or a 5th or a 7th or whatever, just getting the points consistently, I mean, you're looking at a kid that could sweep back into the Red Bull seat with Yuki or Hadjar next year, and they could fully reset Racing Bulls.
Hadjar's got to stay there, I think.
Hadjar, here's the thing: if they don't re-sign Yuki, which I don't think they will, Hadjar's going to get bumped up next year.
Yeah,
they have nobody else. Fair. Who are they going to? They're not going to go sign Checo. What do you say?
Don't they have that kid, that like 19-year-old
Marvin Lindblad?
Yeah, Lindblad.
He's going to drive for Racing Bulls. They're not going to put him in the Red Bull.
Yeah,
facts.
Unless he's the next Max.
But I don't think he is.
Nah, probably not.
But they're not going to pull somebody off the sideline. So it'll be interesting. I really do think Mercedes is going to be Max Kimi next year. Yeah, that's kind of what it's starting to feel like.
It's starting to really seem that way.
I mean, we could literally get Max Kimi at Mercedes, George Fernando at Aston. I think George will go to Aston. But if he doesn't go to Aston, it's going to be Cadillac, Valtteri George.
Which would be sick.
So sick. So sick. I mean, Valtteri's basically confirmed.
Yeah, close as it gets.
I'd say so. And then it's like, but I think Checo's also kind of mostly confirmed. So then it's like, I don't know. George needs a seat. Like, there's no way George doesn't get a seat. He's way too good this year to not get a seat.
He'll get a seat, dude. Somebody will freaking breach contract to sign him before he doesn't get a seat. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Ferrari just breaches contract on Lewis. I'm kidding.
Shoot, that'd be sick.
That'd be crazy. They would never.
I would be so all over that.
He's like, but here's the thing. George brings like the opposite aura of Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
So
totally different guy. That's not a Ferrari guy.
Yeah.
Not right now. Maybe when he matures, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, he is mature, but once he's like an old man like Lewis, sure.
Well, here's the thing. Like, say Carlos Sainz jumps ship after next year. I mean,
he's got a chance to come back.
He could go back to Ferrari, and I wouldn't. I don't see that not happening. But then if George is, say, floating around, you could see the two amigos united at Williams. You could see Albon, Russell at Williams.
Yeah.
Which would make sense. They both like Vals. They both have worked with Vals. It's a connection with Mercedes.
That duo in a good car is scary.
Which would be cool. So, I don't know. Driver market last year was already crazy enough, and now it's seemingly getting more interesting with, I think, arguably, I know the Lewis move to Ferrari is the biggest move that's ever happened. But Max Verstappen to Mercedes might be a bigger move with the history and the fact that he's in his prime right now. I mean, it would be unbelievable and hard to wrap your head around. Max in black and green, whatever that color is, turquoise. I don't know.
Teal, turquoise,
sorry,
something.
Tealquoise,
silver. The arrow, man, that would be nuts. It's obviously not out of reach. I mean, there's a good chance that it comes through. Yeah, I'm with you. We had, the Lewis move last year was giant. Like you said, probably the biggest move of all time. But there was a lot of smaller moves around that. We're going to see more jumps in this offseason or just through this season, I guess. We'll get more clarity. But it is playing out to be a good story, and Drive to Survive is going to be all over that.
Gosh, they're going to be all over it. Following George and Max around wherever they go interview. Because George has already had tea with her and coffee with Christian Horner.
Yep.
So, I mean, you never know. They could do a driver swap.
Yeah, straight up.
But, dude, George is not a Red Bull driver.
No, not at all.
It just doesn't make sense.
I would rather see Carlos go back to Red Bull and George go to Williams.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just as time goes on, like as much as I want the Carlos Williams thing to be permanent, it doesn't feel like it is.
Yeah, I don't know. It really is hard to say. He likes it. I mean, him and George get along, and Vals is the man. Not anybody's gonna like Vals.
Vals is the dude. He's the man. But I gotta listen to his Vals verdict after this week. I want to see what happened to Albon's car. But let's go over the midfield standings. We just yapped for a little bit about drivers market, but midfield standings now is so tight. So obviously we got the top guys. We got McLaren, Ferrari. It's 417, 210, 209 to Mercedes, 162 to Red Bull Racing. Then the big drop happens to 55 at Williams. Racing Bulls is now at 36.
Okay.
Haas at 29. Aston Martin at 28. Kick Sauber at 26.
Oh, it's so
all
tight.
Single digits.
It's the race to not be last now. That's all that is.
No, the last place is...
Dude, y'all are safe.
Alpine is just holding on to last. They're not...
They don't count. They're not a real team.
And my favorite thing about it is all like the NFL players that invested in Alpine. They're like, dude, our team did well this week. Or like last year in Brazil, they're all yapping about how they got a 2-3. And they're all like, oh, it's great. Everything's going great. And I'm like, dude, suck it. This is what you get for freaking investing in Alpine, you idiots, bro. It makes me so happy.
Dude, in my thought on that, on Alpine and the celebrity investors is look at the past of that team. Yeah, they were good when they were Renault, and then all of a sudden they were trash, and they haven't gotten better.
No.
They get lucky. We talked about this. They get lucky twice a year. Every year, they get lucky twice a year. And they'll score a bunch of points, and that's the only reason they stay in it.
I mean, maybe their car's better as a boat because they need a Brazil race. Seemingly, they need like a
Yeah,
foot of water.
they need something ridiculous, but I don't know, dude. That all that to say, the midfield race is
It's getting
getting
good.
tight. I love a single digit delta between what 4 teams.
Oh my gosh, yeah, unbelievable. 4 teams. So I don't know. Alpine's dragging so hard, dude. I'm with you though. Williams has a pretty good gap. 36 points to 55 is pretty good for midfield. So
Yeah,
fifth place feels pretty secure, but dude, you have a race like that with 2 DNFs, it really does not feel good.
hurts, scary.
So I don't know. I love that Gabriel Bortoleto got driver of the day.
Yeah,
That felt
dude,
like
well
an
deserved.
actual deserved driver of the day, which was
Yeah,
fantastic to see.
good for him.
But
Do you think he's going to stick around with Audi?
mm, here's the thing: if Lance
Isn't that
Stroll,
seat up for grabs too?
I think Bortoletto's going to be there for another year, at least for Audi, for one more
I,
year. But
I
my
hope
thought
so.
is, if Fernando Alonso is part of his management team, Lance Stroll leaves. I never even thought about that, but that could be a thing. No, I don't know what his contract looks like for Audi, so I can't confidently say. But I
Here's
mean,
the thing: if Lance leaves and Max doesn't go to
Mercedes is
Aston
going to Aston.
Martin, George is in the Aston Martin seat.
Yeah, yeah.
He has to be.
He has to be. There's nowhere else even makes sense. And
No.
this is like that's all I've really been thinking about. Like I cannot believe that. I thought it was all smoke and mirrors, the discussion about Max to Mercedes, but
Same.
it's starting to like it just starts to look like that. So then the question is, where the heck does George go? He's had his best season ever, period.
Yeah. Best season. I
I
mean,
mean, that
he's
was
a real competitor.
yeah. But he's I don't know if teams don't like him because of his branding, but I don't think a team's gonna care because I think he could win a world championship if he gets put in the
Yeah.
right car, which might be crazy for people to hear. But I just think here's the thing, we talked about it kind of a little bit in the podcast that we didn't release, but like actually no, I was talking about this with somebody else about Valtteri. They're like, oh well, Valtteri was just in like such a great car. And I was like, yeah, he wasn't a great car, but he also drove that thing, never crashed, was super consistent, has like the record for the fastest lap on like a ton of tracks.
Yep.
So it's like, you can't really just say that. Like he was still had that mentality and that capability to be a world champion. Where like if Lewis wasn't there, Valtteri would have been the world
Valtteri
champion
wins every time.
every single time because he
Yep.
just can do it. Like some people
Yep.
just can't do it, and we see that. I think
Pretty sure
George
like
could do it.
every time Lewis had a grid penalty or something that put him way back, Valtteri won.
Yeah,
That's how Valtteri won races. I do think George is the same way. I think George could totally win a driver's championship. I think he could carry a team as he kind of is this year.
yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, multiple race winner, good experience, has been in the Mercedes family for forever. I don't know. All of this depends on Max. If Max moves, George moves.
Yeah, because it's a tough spot to be in. Because even if you are as good as George is, if the 3-time world champ wants your seat, he's gonna get your seat. It's like
Yep.
Carlos last year. Carlos had a great year last year.
He
Sorry,
had an awesome year
7-time
last
world
year.
champion wants your seat. It's gonna get taken.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
Dog eat dog, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it really is. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was one other thing I was thinking about, but I can't put it off the top of my head. Besides the fact that kicks upgrades are going crazy. So I will
Yeah.
say the kick upgrades, just to touch on it again, makes me very curious about Audi next year. Because I mean they're rolling over a lot of the same people. So how
Yeah.
fast is Audi gonna be? If they're able to get upgrades in this car that took them from fighting with Alpine for 19 and 18, besides Hulkenberg, who could literally take like, I don't know the analogy, a Toyota Camry into like the points somehow. Like he just
Yeah.
gets in the points.
Yeah.
So
He's a driver.
he's just a stud. So I mean, besides that, they've got a car now that their rookie can drive into points,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's kind of scary. So like, how
Yeah.
good is Audi going to be? Who knows?
When they get that extra, like the deeper pockets, different financial aspect to it, they're gonna watch out.
I don't know.
They have racing heritage, dude. They do
Yeah.
well at Le Mans. They have endurance stuff. They have GT cars. Like Audi has racing heritage. If they can put it together and make this thing work, they're going to be good. Money talks.
Yeah, it makes me excited for next year. But we can't wish away the season because we have tons of races still.
Oh yeah.
Also, we have talked about potentially doing co-op F1 25
Oh yeah.
type situation. If anybody's watching this and is available to leave a comment, please leave a comment whether that'd be good or not. I think it'd be a little fun. We could see where it goes. Give it a whirl.
We're
But
definitely gonna at least try it out.
I mean, it will be a very good comparison to the teams we like. I'm going to be mid to backfield 100%, and you're going to be top 100%. I mean, I know it's randomized kind of, but like, dude, I stink at racing games in comparison to you. So maybe
That's
it's
all I
just going to
play.
be videos of me trying to take you out the
No,
entire.
dude, we work as a
I'm
team.
kidding. I know.
We got to pick, like, I guess our idea for this, not to go down a rabbit hole
Please
here,
do it.
our idea for this was spin a wheel and pick a team, take out Williams and Ferrari. So we literally can't get either. We also
Aw.
could probably do the bottom 5 teams. I don't want to do Alpine though. If we land on Alpine, we cut that.
Alpinist, bro. We rebrand them fully, bro.
Yeah. So do that, spin a wheel, see who we get, figure it out from there.
Yeah, I
Record
think
some
that'd be fun.
gameplay. I think it would be great. I think it'd be good fun.
My computer has to not blow up, but besides that,
Yeah.
besides
We
that,
need to.
I think it would be good. Yeah, I like the idea. So be on the lookouts for that. Always something new coming up. So
Yeah, we'll keep it going.
absolutely. All right, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. We got 2 weeks till the next race, I believe.
No. Next weekend, 4th of July, we got a race.
Oh, I'm a fake fan, by the way.
I checked the schedule like today.
Yeah, I know. I always forget these things. All right, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.